You'll never look at Only Murders in the Building the same way again after this Season 5 episode. Only Murders in the Building is back for Season 5, and despite the show's age, the series has proven it's only getting better with time. The 3-part season premiere quickly revealed that the murder of Lester, Teddy Kaluka, was only the beginning, with some of the show's most intriguing and hilarious twists yet. However, among the finger shrimp, makeshift autopsies, and Logan Lerman appearances was a beautiful plot that not only paid tribute to the Arconia's fallen doorman, but subtly reinvented the series from the ground up. Only Murders in the Building has always excelled when it comes to character backstories. Season 2 famously reinvented Bunny, Jane Howdyshell, in a way that was both believable and sentimental, while Season 4 took Saz, Jane Lynch, from fan-favorite comedic relief to full-fledged hero. Season 5's second episode, After You, continues this tradition with Lester, giving him a complex history while also revealing that he was, perhaps, the most integral member of the Arconia's community all along. Lester's backstory is far more complex than we realized in Only Murders in the Building. Lester has been a beloved part of Only Murders in the Building since the series began. While never a main character, he brought a sense of warmth and whimsy to the show, even in the darkest times. What makes his backstory so surprisingly complex, however, is that he is far more nuanced than we ever before realized. Lester has always been presented as one who takes joy in his role at the Arconia, and while this is true, it's fascinating to learn how deeply ambitious he was in his youth, with a younger version of the character played by Emery Cohen. The episode introduces him on his very first day of work, when he is being trained by George, Tony Plana, the building's former doorman. Young Lester has only taken the job for money and has greater ambitions of being an actor. While at first this seems like a bit of a stereotypical arc, the show refreshingly handles Lester's growth, as he actually falls in love with the building and his place within it. It would have been easy for Lester to be written as someone who was actually more unfulfilled and build a sort of tragedy around that, but making him an ultimately happy character ups the tragedy of his demise, and having him meet his end in a place he loved is disturbingly tragic. What's more, the show uses the shadier parts of his past to build upon our sympathies, as his dealings with the new New York City mob were the result of him trying to give his family the life they deserve. It's painful to watch this flashback episode knowing he's going to meet such a violent end. Lester plays a massive role in the larger story of Only Murders in the Building. Although Lester had always been a favorite member of the Arconia community, After You takes a bold step in shaping his history and in doing so, reinvents the series from the ground up. Given how long Lester has been working at the iconic apartment building, it makes sense that he would have crossed paths with many of the show's most iconic players, but the multi-year flashback uses its time wisely to reveal just how integral Lester has always been, even if viewers, and likewise the characters, failed to realize it. In fact, the episode reveals that none of the main events of the series would have been set in motion if it hadn't been for him. When Oliver, Martin Short, first applied for his beloved apartment, it was Lester who helped him actually score the residence amidst heavy competition. Lester also proves himself to be a constant friend for Charles, Steve Martin, during both the height of his career and the lonely later years. Being an all-flashback episode gives After You the advantage of including many characters from the past, such as Bunny. While this is incredibly nostalgic, it's revealed that Lester had won over the Arconia's famously stingy resident and helped make her later years a pleasant experience. Perhaps the biggest effect Lester had over the years, however, was the positive impact he had on Mabel, Selena Gomez. Over the course of the outing, viewers learned that Lester had known Mabel since she was a newborn, and that he was her first real friend. It's his kindness and compassion that caused Mabel to fall in love with the Arconia and to find a home within its walls. In short, without Lester, there would be no Only Murders in the Building. Lester was Only Murders in the Building's most underrated character. What is perhaps saddest of all about this brilliant twist is that Lester's contributions to the Arconia were not appreciated until it was too late. While characters like Cinda Canning, Tina Fey, and the multiple roles played by Paul Rudd have, rightfully, been praised both in universe and by audiences, Lester was often overlooked, and After You makes that clear. Whether the residents realized it or not, their everyday lives were made better by having Lester in the building. His warmth and thoughtfulness made even the darkest and most zany of episodes feel safe and homey, attributes that are key to a show set in a deadly apartment building. While it is nice to see the Arconia's residents turn up for Lester's funeral, it's hard not to wish that they had been more forward with their affection for him while he was still alive. After all, he gave up his dreams, time, and finally his life in service of making the Arconia a wonderful place to live. After You, however, proves that Lester will remain a special and integral part of the show's lore, with Only Murders in the Building Season 5 finally giving this beloved character a chance to shine even in death.